Guys, welcome to the DQ Central show. Quinn and Dave, how's it, guys? We're coming to you from CanaPax headquarters. We're going to be interviewing Russel De Beer. A lot of you guys have been asking some questions about it, and we are going to get it directly from Russel. Guys, we'll see you shortly.
Away, Elementa.
Guys, we're back. Like to introduce Russel and Quinn. Quinn.
Let's do this. There's a lot being said about CanaPax, and we're here to ask the questions. Firstly, thanks for having us. It's really, really great. We're pretty excited that you actually agreed to this. Russel, I'm going to jump straight in. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came up with CanaPax.
Well, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it very much. I was born here in South Africa, and grew up in Europe. And round about at the age of 17, I decided to begin my career as a healer. So I moved to Amsterdam, started working at the Transkei coffee shop.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was lots of fun. Paul was at the time the owner. Yeah. So there I learned as much as I could about cannabis and the Dutch being forefront of cannabis rights. Back in the 80s, we were one of the only countries in the world that allowed you to have a proper understanding of how it grows, how it was cured, what effect it had, and what medical use you could use of it. So, as at the time, I was studying and working at the same time, and then I just continued down that path.
Okay. You said you were in Europe, so when did you come to South Africa?
I came to South Africa in 2000 for an agricultural project for Agricultural Research Council to grow cannabis, and I came here to help them, and I ran a project to develop agricultural varieties for industrial and medical use.
Okay. Sure, that was quite a while ago. That's 18 years ago. Jeez. Okay. So you've been doing this for a while?
Yes, since 1988.
Yes. Okay. I'm suddenly feeling a bit younger than you. How old are you? Sorry, just off.
Nearly my 50s.
Hey, okay. You've got a good 6-8 years on me, huh? I'm just over 40. Yeah. All right, cool. Okay. What gave you the idea for your business model?
Well, we have on our hands a medical emergency in South Africa.
Okay.
And unfortunately, people can't have access to cannabis, and almost they do it illegally, which is not viable. And you can't expect a person suffering from multiple sclerosis or any other difficult sickness to cultivate, dry, cure, bag quantities for him to last for a year. So I said to myself, let's start a dispensary where we can actually allow individuals to self-medicate.
You know, we've been speaking about that a lot on the DQ show, and that was one of the things that we actually said, that a lot of people don't have the time or the inclination, whatever it may be, and for whatever reason it may be, to grow their own. So, yeah, and
you can't expect a person that works.
If you've got 3 months to live, you can't go and spend 4 months trying to grow and make oil. And okay, I get it. All right, cool. Can you explain to us how the dispensaries work?
The dispensaries work, fortunately, due to our president, Mr. Jacob Zuma, that signed into law Traditional Healers Act, that now allows the dispensing of plants and herbs which previously were unregulated. As now a traditional healer like I am, druid precisely, to actually practice. So this was like a revolution, because most of our medicines were forbidden to be given to anybody.
Sure.
Due to interests inside the pharmaceutical companies.
Sure. Okay, so let's, we all have to thank Jeremy Acton. Whenever we do a show, we always thank him for making sure that our privacy was taken care of when it comes to cannabis. So we're not even going to talk about that part. We all know that use in the privacy of your own home is fine.
Self-medication.
Self-medication.
Which is the base of modern medicine.
Okay. I'm going to get to a really important question now. According to the Drugs and Trafficking Act, according to the Medicines Control Act, SAPRA brought out, or MCC, SAPRA, whatever they like to call themselves, brought out a document about a week or two ago going, no, it's illegal to sell. The police, about 3 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, don't judge me on time, but a couple of weeks ago brought out a document that pretty much said the same. What enables you to dispense cannabis?
Well, you nominated 2 acts. You
Yes.
haven't nominated the 3rd act, that is the most recent, that
Okay.
our President, Mr. Jacob Zuma, signed into law,
Okay.
which then supersedes as last act, being regarding our present legislation regarding plants and herbs. So automatically, as the last act is this one, it states inside the act that any traditional healer can dispense any herb that grows in the Republic of South Africa. And I'd like to now show this in our herbal book that represents all the herbs that are grown in South Africa, naturally. And I'll ask one of my colleagues to bring it to me.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you so much, Archie.
Thanks.
So, Plants and Medicines of the Republic of South Africa. Awesome. This book elencates all plants and herbs of our republic. Malpitta is part of it. We got
Good days as kids with Malpitta.
So we got a lot of plants, and on page 66 we have cannabis sativa, Daha, commonly known as South Africa, which comes from the Khoisan word.
Okay.
Grows freely throughout the country. So this is a herb.
Can I have a look there quick? Thanks, man. Plants and Medicine of Africa. Would you look at that?
Yes.
Okay.
So this falls under the jurisdiction of any traditional healer. As European traditional healer and druid, follow the rules of my brothers. I have now been accepted amongst the Cape Bush doctors. And this now as a practicing. We are many, and our calling is by spiritual calling and by vocation. So a lot of us only come later on, and a lot of us do it by interest. So it goes just to fulfill the fact that African tradition culture is with European tradition culture going back millennia.
Okay. I'm going to ask the question. The act is pretty okay. The 2 acts that I spoke of are very explicit about it. You've shown us the book, and that's great. I'm going to bring up a point so that because it's something that's well known. In the Traditional Healers Act, section 22, or the Traditional Healers Act, no mention is actually specifically made of cannabis, which I find interesting, because obviously it does speak about herbs and stuff like that. So, with my understanding, please correct me if I'm wrong. Okay,
we're all here to learn. Huh?
Yeah, we're all here to learn. So, with my understanding, what you're saying is that if you're a traditional healer in South Africa, you can dispense whatever herbs, including cannabis, and that act, because it came after the other two,
supersedes
it. Okay, all right.
So in other words, you could use any herb within the borders of our country, is what you're saying,
as a traditional healer.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to, sort of the point I'm trying to make. Okay. Right. I asked a question a bit earlier, and I think we both digressed because it was quite an interesting topic that we were on. With the dispensaries, who runs the dispensaries? I think you mentioned you have apprentices. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. Obviously, the question we need to ask is, how are they trained / supervised, if I can put those words sort of just willy-nilly together? How are they trained or supervised? Are you in charge of them, or is there somebody that in each area that they are that is overseeing them? I'm trying to work out, because you said they're apprentices, so I need to know how they are. I think the better word there is overseen. Do you do it personally, or is there somebody within your organisation that does that for you?
Good. You mentioned our apprentices. We're all apprentices in front of our creation, as we learn from our plants that are around us. Mm-hmm. People learn very slowly. Maybe you start with coffee, tea, chamomile, and then you go on using other herbs and plants for your self-medication. Mm-hmm. The people and that have taken them on to accomplish this mission with me, mm-hmm. are there to allow self-medication. Important on top of all. If I walk into one of my shops, I have piles. It is nobody's business. I want to walk in, take the ointment, go home, rub it on my ass, and mind my own business.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes, unfortunately, some things you just don't want to share with other people.
Sure.
So let's not go into other questions where cannabis allows to heal.
Okay.
So all these brothers that have taken on this mission are not there to teach you how to heal yourself. They're there to offer you the possibility to heal yourself.
Okay.
So they are merely there to stand behind the counter, give whatever product that is available on my dispensaries, mm-hmm. and give them to the patient.
So my mind's getting numb sitting this way. So
yeah, better be comfortable. Huh?
Yeah.
So we are just there to offer the possibility for self-medication. I'm not, even from a traditional point of view, I can just give you the herb. It's for you and your personal space to actually heal your own sickness.
What you do with it is your business.
Yeah.
Okay.
That the privacy is a basic point of this whole thing, which must be respected.
Okay.
And the only way to do it is to allow the people to self-medicate. And the only way I could come up with to do this in an efficient and effective manner in this medical crisis that we are in now in our modern society of over-medication, where we should go back to under-medication with medication that works. And traditional healing starts with food, lifestyle, relationships, and that is part of the whole movement, where we are living in a rainbow nation. So our culture, other people's culture, and the people that we don't know culture, they are here, and we need to start admitting that not only Western medicine is the only way. Your traditional healers have been here forever. We are undermined due to the fact that the legislation didn't even allow us to practice before. We weren't even recognized. We are more of a spiritual calling than actual, you would say, a calling of going to university, learning, experimenting on bodies, cutting them up. Whole different type of medicine. We don't even recognize surgery as a resort. It's one of our last resorts that we use. And this is a path that I'm following, and I'm trying to do my best to allow as many people as possible to self-medicate.
Okay. We have to. We have to. There's one more question, and sorry, I have to ask it because it's been in the sort of in social media a lot that a few of the franchises have been. What's the right word? Raided? Is that the word that we can use?
Robbed is more the right word.
Okay.
Robbed. Let's just place the things as it is.
All right.
They've been robbed.
By the police.
Yes.
Do those people, because they're your apprentices, do they fall under the same act as you, and are they afforded the same protection that a traditional healer such as yourself has when it comes to dispensing cannabis?
Everybody
Yeah.
that comes to the stores
Yeah.
and decides that wants to purchase and wants to be dispensed with any of our products, that being our oils, that being our balsams, is there because of his own accord.
Okay.
You walk into the door, you know that you have an ailment, you go and buy what you want from the dispensary, and you go home and you use it in your own privacy. And if you are in a situation where you have maybe severe cases of epileptic fits or any other pains that you immediately can then administer the oil to yourself, or find a way that you can use your medicament.
Okay. Yeah. We're kind of running out of time, so sorry, just to get back to the question, I don't think, perhaps I didn't say it correctly. If one of your stores is raided, are they, when it gets to court, are you going to be there to help your apprentices?
The store managers and apprentices that are trying to learn the trade are merely there to dispense what you request. They're not there to do the job of a doctor. And they are under my protection, as the product in the shop belongs to me. They merely have it on consignment, sell it, and then repay, and which then we'll pay for all the expenses that come along with the thing. Unfortunately, this requires a lot of money, so these people have teamed in. They buy 25,000 Rand. What happens with the money? We take the 25,000 Rand, buy cannabis stock, make products, which is very expensive to buy, unfortunately. So then we stock the shops with the products.
Okay.
So the money that is taken.
So basically, if I had to get a dispenser and come as you say, as an apprentice or whatever, the money that's paid off is literally my first stock.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes, it's your first stock, and if you are wealthy, and there's a lot of shop owners that are very wealthy, then I ask them to bonafide the 25,000, buying stock, and then basically I use that then to purchase more stock. And it's guys, we're a country of 60 million people. The amount of people out there that is suffering that cannot heal due to malpractice in our medical sector is immense. And buying R500,000 of stock is not even enough to supply the market for a small amount of time. So
you're telling me you're buying R500,000 worth of stock at a time? That's huge, bro.
That's small.
How many stores do you have?
We have 40 stores now.
Okay. Oh, it's a big business. Huh?
No, this is but a point of iceberg. Brits has maybe 8 pharmacies. There's one CanaPax. Please, guys, the situation is desperate. Our country needs literally thousands of more stores, and this is all good and easy to say, but we have individuals that have got a feeling regard traditional medicine that is of prejudice, which has been stained by an educational system that was based on racial and cultural segregation.
Okay. Russel, I think it's time to wrap up, and I'd like to say thank you. Mm-hmm. You've been open and honest, and you've answered all the questions that I think the public has been asking all along. Thanks very much.
It was a pleasure. I hope that the listeners and the viewers did get what they're looking for. Any questions more, you're welcome to write to me. I try my best to filter and respond to all the people that have effective, constructive criticisms to offer me. The misunderstanding and the prejudice, let's leave it to the past and make a future.
You heard it first on DQ Central.
Nice. There we go, guys.
You heard it first on DQ Central. Away, julle mense. We'll see you soon.
Stay blessed. Sorry, I've been behind the camera all night. Thank you so much, Russel, again. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.